How do they do it? Why do they do it? Riding and crashing and riding and winning and always faster and faster and faster.
Welcome back, everybody, to with Anto MotoGP 2025. We're going to take a look at round 4, which is Doha, Qatar MotoGP, the traditional night race, and it was for a very, very long time the first round of the season, but not this year. I think it's all down to who's paying. So obviously this year we've got round 4. So what does that mean? It means that it's a different time of year, and it means that it's going to be a lot warmer. I've been lucky enough to work in Qatar for a couple of years, and this time of year it's starting to warm up. So what we're going to see is impact potentially on tyres, and what will happen, because the race will actually be a lot warmer than it normally will be. The other main talking point, apart from the degradation of the tyres, is what's happening with Aprilia. So the number 1 plate, Jorge Martín, is he going to come back? Look, we've talked about this a lot on previous episodes, and you know, it's quite clear to me that he has to just come back and treat this like a practice session. He's got the 2 practices on the Friday he can use. This is a chance for the first time this year for Aprilia Management to stand up and make a decision and put some control factors around Jorge. Now, of course, he's going to be very keen to come back and actually do the best he can. But really, now's the time. Now, we've found out subsequently that we haven't had the full story on his last lot of injuries. It seems he's not just done the scaphoid, but he's also hurt 3 ribs, I believe it is, and additional injuries to one of his feet and additional injuries to his hand. So we'll wait and see. Okay, so let's look back at a couple of the previous winners. Now, this used to be in recent times the classic battle between Dovi and Márquez, and over the years you go all the way back to 07, 05, Stoner, Rossi, Lorenzo had a real run, 2012, 2013, 2016. Even Vinales has won there. I think in 2021, Vinales took the checkered flag. Márquez has only won there once, and that's way back in 2014 on the Honda. So it really is a bit of a Ducati track. And of course, in 18 and 19, Dovi. But let's look at perhaps some of the more recent races. In 2023, Gianantonio had his big breakthrough. I think if you remember, the race was held towards the end of the year. He was on the way out of MotoGP. He didn't have a successful year, and he actually put the bike into first position, which was really fantastic, and ahead of Bagnaia in 2023 and Jorge Martín in 3rd place. So what about 2024? Well, it was the chance for Bagnaia to actually win the race. I think we famously remember Márquez's first ride on the Ducati, leaving Honda, the big story. And surprise, surprise, last year in 2024, we had Brad Binder on the KTM. How far has KTM fallen? We're going to talk a little bit about that in the coming up. And 3rd place, we had Jorge Martín. So over the last couple of years, including 2022, which was Bagnaia, it's been Ducatis. So you'd have to probably think that that's the story again, and it's probably the story for 2025. But let's have a look at how each of the teams are going to go. So round 4, Doha, Qatar, the night race. Let's have a look at Honda, because I think Honda's quite a fascinating story for 2025. And I want to start with a little bit of a rumour. I hear that Toprak, Razagoglu, is a hot tip to sign for Honda for 26, 27 and 28. Now, this would be fantastic for HRC. Well, that would see, I believe, that Toprak would ride World Superbike for Honda in 26, and then to jump across for the new 850cc's, the new Pirellis, the new regulations for downforce, would see him on the HRC bike for 27 and 28. Now, that's just an interesting rumour at this stage, but for me, I, for one, would really like to see that happen. I think it would be great to see him in the class. I remember famously when Ben Spies came across as the world superbike champion into MotoGP. I mean, they had that crazy rookie rule, so he couldn't get straight on the works Yamaha, but that was very exciting. Other performances from Honda, look, they haven't done much at the track. I think in 24, Zarco 12th, Mia 13th, so not much there, and pretty similar sort of places in 23. So for Honda, not too sure what we're going to see from there. Yamaha, well, Quartararo, was seventh back in 2024. Jack Miller hasn't got a great history. It's funny how we find ourselves talking about Yamaha now, and it's Quartararo and Miller. We really haven't seen the likes of anyone else running strongly in Yamaha. I mean, the other name for Yamaha should be Rins, and we should be talking more about him. But honestly, where is he? We talked about his new carbon fiber leg brace, but honestly, I'm not too sure exactly where he's heading. And there's also some rumours in and around changes for the team, and I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go. And then, of course, you've got Miguel Oliveira out again injured. Seems like it's a shoulder situation. So that could be painful. So they've got their test rider running for him this weekend. So Yamaha should be interesting. Not 100% sure how that will turn out. Aprilia, well, Bezecchi, Martin is back. I think Martin's actually going to get on the bike and do quite well. And Agura, I think, is certainty to do well this race. I think the Aprilia is suited. Last year in 24, Aprilia of Vinales was in the top 10. He finished 10th. So the bike's got potential. So I think that's definitely got some potential there. Okay, KTM. Now, last year in 2024, Acosta was the star of the GP. He passed Marquez. He got all the way up to sixth place. He was going very well. He famously was, I think, running up as high as sixth, as I've just mentioned. He ended up finishing in the top 10 and finished ninth on his first ride on a MotoGP bike. What a talent. Now he's got this ongoing problem. Paul, Trev Nathan, his pit manager, he's been with him now for 2 seasons. Now, let's understand that last year in 2024, Pedro Acosta was on the podium 9 times. 9 times. Now, how can they go backwards? How can KTM can't get this Michelin tyre to work? This rear inertia device they're trying to run, it doesn't seem to be helping. So why is it worse this year than last year? Brad Binder, running around Vinales, Bastianini. Bastianini's improving, I'll give that to him. And Vinales, my opinion, I think that's a train wreck. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I really can't see KTM doing much at all this race. So that leaves us here on with Anto MotoGP 2025 with race prediction. Now, you can't really go past Ducatis in this race. You can't. Now, for me, I think we talked about mental disintegration. We talk about Marc Márquez and we talk about what he's doing. I'm tipping him to win the race. And I think potentially do the double. Bagnaia will be right there with him. Bagnaia likes this track. And Bagnaia will be going in as firm favourite to win. And that's why I think Marc will pounce. I think the mental game continues. I think Marc is completely ravenous for victories, and I believe he'll get that. I think Bagnaia will run and finish in second, and I think Alex Marquez, who's the star of the 2025 season, he's leading the World Championship. I think he'll finish third. So it's a Ducati lockout, 2 works Ducatis, and then Alex Marquez on the Gresini bike. Gresini are doing really well. I think there's a lot to be said for Gresini. I think Firmin Aldeguer will run well. I think he'll be in the top 6, and I think one of the Yamahas will be in the top 7th or 8th. And I really can't see. Look, I I'd love to see Acosta do something, but really that's it. And I think the top hope for Honda would probably be Zarco. Zarco's talking about the renewed enthusiasm, HRC, you know, ever since his Suzuka 8-hour win. He's back firmly in their sights. You win the Suzuka for Honda, and that goes a long way to securing your future. So a couple of talking points, and I'd love your thoughts on it. Do you think the later start time for the race being in April will affect things in Doha? What about tyres? Who's going to use the tyres best? You know, that plays to the hands of Bastianini, could finish up high. And what about Jorge Martín? What do you think? Hard to predict when a rider's coming back with all those injuries, but we can see what he can do. And KTM, will they finally ever get to use the rear tyre? And Aprilia Management, do you think that they will stand up for once in 2025? But listen, if you've enjoyed this episode, look, please give it a like and a thanks. And I'd love to read your comments downstairs in the comments area. And I really look forward to the race. So thanks for watching, and bye for now. See you soon.